Days like this are very difficult. You know, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. We don't do this often, but these are important. We fight for our victims, and it's important for us to tell a story. I'm joined today by Sheriff Coon from Lexington County Sheriff's Department, our Coroner Naida Rutherford, Deputy Chief Kelly. If there was ever an example of why we value partnerships here in Columbia and in the Midlands, this case is that just that. You'll see how important those partnerships are and the value they brought to this case as I explain exactly what happened. They were with us from the very beginning, and that was Lexington County, Richland County, SLED, our coroner, Forest Acres Police Department, the 11th Circuit Solicitor's Office, and the 5th Circuit Solicitor's Office. We're here today to talk about the murder investigation that occurred on Cypress Street on overnight Friday into Saturday. The incident happened on the morning of May 3rd in the 2700 block of Cypress Street. At 11:14 a.m., we received a 911 call that was made after a female victim was found deceased in one of the homes on Cypress Street. We also received a call within a minute of the first call reporting a stolen vehicle from an adjacent property. When officers arrived on scene, they discovered the female that was deceased, and it looked suspicious. The coroner arrived, and the body was taken for an autopsy. Once the autopsy was conducted, the coroner's office determined that the death was by a fatal gunshot wound, and she's going to speak to the cause of death now.
The life of 22-year-old Logan Federico ended on the morning of May 3rd after a fatal gunshot wound to her chest. The manner of death is homicide. Logan was located in the 2700 block of Cypress Street when this homicide occurred in one of the homes on that street. A full autopsy was performed along with toxicology, and various samples were collected from Logan's body should further testing be required in the future. There were no obvious signs of other trauma to Logan's body. Our condolences are with her family, her friends, and the community who is mourning this tragic loss. We will continue as the Richland County Coroner's Office to collaborate with law enforcement into the investigation of this homicide.
Thank you, Madam Coroner. Logan's father is here. Mr. Federico, he's going to address you all in a moment. And I also, before I continue with this summary of events, I want to recognize the investigators that worked around the clock on this since it happened. They're in this room, and couldn't have been more proud of you all. You know, we talk about fighting for victims, but we also, you've heard me say before, we're all moms and dads and brothers and sisters, and this touches all of us in a way that it'll never leave us. And as I told you, you're part of our family now, and we all heal together. I'd also like to recognize our city manager, Teresa Wilson. We are able to do our work because of the support we get from Ms. Wilson and the emphasis that our city officials, elected officials put on public safety. So Logan was a true victim. She was a helpless victim. She was not an intended target. The two locations I mentioned are both rental homes. They're occupied by college students at the University of South Carolina. They're fraternity brothers. They're all fraternity members. The victim, Miss Logan Federico, was from Waxhaw, North Carolina. She was visiting her friends that lived in this residence for the weekend. The previous night, she and her friends were out with others just socializing, doing what college kids do, having a good time. She and a friend arrived back at the residence shortly before 3 a.m. in the morning. Investigators believe the suspect, who has been identified as 30-year-old Alexander Dickey, D-I-C-K-E-Y, breaks into one of the Cypress Street homes, and he steals keys to a vehicle and several items, including a firearm, after he was rummaging through rooms. The suspect also breaks into the home next door. These houses are side by side. And he steals several items, including a wallet and credit and debit cards. While in this residence, we believe that he enters a room where Miss Logan is located and fires a fatal shot. The suspect drives away in the stolen vehicle and heads towards West Columbia and goes on what can best be described as a shopping spree. He uses stolen credit and debit cards to go to multiple stores in Lexington County. He ultimately drives to Saluda County and attempts to make additional fraudulent purchases. While at a location in Saluda County, the stolen vehicle, breaks down. This leaves Dickey somewhat stranded. He then calls for a tow service to move his stolen vehicle from Saluda to a residence in Gaston County, which is in Lexington County, and this is a home of another female acquaintance. By this time, we have, as we've pushed through this investigation, we are starting to track him as a person of interest, and we have investigators from our department, the Sheriff's Department, and SLED converging on this location in Gaston County, in the area of Gaston and Lexington County. As law enforcement arrives at that residence, a person flees out the back and into the wooded area, and that person is who we have identified as Dickey. Law enforcement from the Sheriff's Department, Police Department, SLED, they remain in the area throughout the night into the next day. If you remember Saturday night, we had some severe weather. They were out in the weather all night tracking the suspect. Around 4 p.m. yesterday, a Lexington County resident reports seeing somebody come from the woods, steals a vehicle, and attempts to flee the area in a stolen vehicle, but wrecks a short distance away from where the theft occurred, flees again on foot, and heads back to the original Gaston home that he had fled from. He forces entry. It's unoccupied. He forces entry into the residence, and law enforcement surrounds the residence and starts ordering him to surrender. As law enforcement is giving him commands, the house or the residence becomes engulfed in flames. It's set on fire. Dickey is extracted through a window, taken into custody by the Lexington County Sheriff's Department, and he was taken to a hospital where he was treated and released. And I'm going to let Sheriff C.R.I.M.S.O.N speak to the charges in Lexington County in just a minute. Our officers, with the assistance of Lexington County, questioned the suspect at the Sheriff's Department. And as a result of the interview, the evidence collected at the scene, the assistance from the Sheriff's Department, consultation with the coroner and the SLED lab, we have issued murder warrants, or warrants charging Dickey with murder, 2 counts of first-degree burglary, 2 counts of possession of a weapon during a commission of a violent crime, possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. He's a convicted felon. 2 counts of grand larceny of a motor vehicle, 3 counts of financial transaction card theft. Dickey, he's a criminal. He is currently wanted by the Forest Acre Police Department for drug possession. He has convictions for auto braking, grand larceny, possession of meth, strong arm robbery, driving without a license, possession of a stolen vehicle, burglary third degree, burglary second, failed to comply with direction of police, resisting arrest. He's a true convict and deserves to be in jail for the rest of his life. I'm going to let Sheriff Coon speak to the current charges in Lexington County as a result of the things he did evading law enforcement.
Thank you, Chief. Certainly our hearts go out to the family and the friends in this senseless case where a career criminal just went on a multi-day crime spree, wreaking havoc across 2 counties and 6 or 7 police jurisdictions. Our involvement, as Chief said, was at 160 First Creek Road in the Gaston area of our county, where he broke in that house and set it on fire. As a result, we've charged him with burglary first degree and arson second degree. That happened about 4:30 yesterday. I can tell you today at 3 o'clock he was denied bond by a Lexington County magistrate on those 2 charges. We certainly will continue to investigate and follow up on some financial fraudulent credit card usage in the area that we know about, and that second motor vehicle theft that Chief described. But I do want to echo Chief's sentiments on working together. We found out a long time ago is in this case criminals do not stay within one jurisdiction, and I'm proud of the work we've done all together to hopefully start the healing process and ultimately hold this person accountable for these crimes and walk with his family to the that happens. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. As you can certainly appreciate, this was a very fluid investigation. It's very complicated. There's a lot of work still to be done. Again, I cannot say how proud I am of this team that's worked this case, and there's no question that had they not pursued this with the vigor that they did, I don't think we'd be standing here today. This was just truly a remarkable effort. Mr. Federico is asked to speak. I can't imagine what he's feeling right now. I'm asking you all to give him the utmost respect. He is not going to take questions. He has a few things he wants to say. So I'd ask you to come up at this time.
My name is Stephen Federico, and I am Logan Haley Federico's father, better known as Dad or her hero. Unfortunately, that day, I could not be her hero. My daughter, I cherished. She was a strong, fun, loving individual who did what she wanted to do and was spicy. She was the biggest Taylor Swift fan that I've ever seen. I took her to the Taylor Swift concert myself, and then I became one. My daughter was working hard at school, working 2 jobs to become a teacher. She loved and adored kids, children of all ages. She had a bright future with her. The message I want to send, what was his name? To Dickie, who took my daughter's life. This is from her. You can't kill my spirit. You might be able to kill my body, my physical, but you cannot kill my love that my family and Fred shared with me. My memories made with my daughter and my family and her friends will never die. I had some of the most courageous friends over my house last night celebrating Logan. We have developed a group text to stay in touch. They promised me they'll never forget me, never forget Logan. That text name is Logan's Crew. She will live on forever. Maybe not physically, but spiritually. She will touch people and protect over people. Somehow, she will still have a huge, huge decision about what kids' life and looking over them. She became very goal-oriented, and she was achieving those goals, working hard to achieve that. I ask you to take in consideration the work that these officers did. I cannot tell you the line of communication daily, how I was informed how things were going. This is the most professional staff of anything, any company I've been associated with. They are absolutely the best of the best. And they need to be told that every day, how appreciative we are of them. And they don't get told enough. Yes, I lost my daughter, but I gained a family. And I thank you for letting me speak. And please keep my daughter and your family in our prayers.
This is why we do what we do. We'll take a few questions. Again, this is a very active and ongoing investigation, so I'll answer what questions I can. Anybody? Speak up, please. Sorry. That's something that we can't speak to presently. It was reported upon discovery of her body, and the time from when she arrived at home to that next morning, that's a time that we think is some facts that we're keeping close to the vest in terms of the investigation. We don't want to do anything to jeopardize the integrity of the investigation.